Okay, today is March 28th, 2017, and right now at 11 p.m. in the foothills, we have a temperature of 66 degrees. Now, in the last hour, that temperature has gone up 6 degrees. At 10 p.m., we had a temperature of 60 degrees, and now it's 66 here at 11 p.m. So we've got also a much lower relative humidity. It's at 21% right now. 1 hour ago, it was at 36%. And now we're at 21%. And also the dew point has dropped down to 25 degrees, whereas 1 hour ago it was at 33 degrees. So we've got some winds in the foothills right now. They've picked up in the last hour. And also we can see what's happening right here. There's a new area of high pressure being installed right over southern and central California. That is evaporating the jet stream, which is hooking down. We've got high pressure all through here, which is winding this area of moisture down through California. And also we have a blockade that's still built in right here. This is a man-made transmitter-generated wall blockade, which is preventing this jet stream flow from winding into the core of that low-pressure storm system right here. This is a 997 millibar dual low-pressure system. There's actually two lows in this storm system. And also there's a transmitter on this system right down here. We can see the clockwise rotation right here, peeling some of that moisture off to the right side. And that is, this storm has been allowed to rebuild. These terrorists have allowed this storm to rebuild. This was over California. It didn't drop any rain over on Sunday. We had plenty of chemtrails, though, on Sunday as this thing moved away Monday and Tuesday. We see what's happening here right now. We've got tornadoes and hail, and these people that are controlling our weather could easily put enough heat on this to stop it, much like we have out here. This is an upper level low pressure system out here. We'll see that on the pressure maps. Right out here we have an upper level low, and that's been completely surrounded by high pressure. There's also high pressure right next to the low pressure. We'll take a look at the charts here in a sec. Now let's take a look quickly at the rainbow map. We can see all the outflow right here. Everything's flowing away. We've got descending air right in this area that is clearing out the this entire area. And that blockade, we can see the effectiveness, all the evaporation right here. There's a lot of rain showing up on the Intellicast Doppler, which is right here. This big storm, they've allowed that to rebuild. These terrorists that are controlling our weather have let this rebuild into a very violent situation here. We can see the very intense weather all through here. Tornadoes, probably golf ball and baseball size hail, who knows. I'd like to hear from the people in Texas and Oklahoma. If there's anybody tuning into these reports, I want to hear some feedback on what's going on in Texas, because this is the same storm that went right through California on Sunday, didn't leave any rain. Of course, we were getting chemtrailed over on Sunday as this thing moved through, but now they're letting it really throttle up, and that's what terrorists do. And so that's what we're seeing now. We have another storm system out here. This has got a transmitter on it as well. You can see the dark area. And we have the jet stream flow right through here. All right, let's take a look at the infrared map. And again, we see all that outflow where that high pressure's been installed. This has all forced the jet stream much further north. This was running right into California here about 2 days ago. And we can see the evaporation pattern right here. So these people have complete control over our weather. This blockade here, as I say, is stopping this flow from feeding into that low pressure vortex. All right, here's the surface analysis map. By the way, Donald Trump today negated a whole bunch of executive orders that Obama had signed over the last 8 years dealing with climate change and all sorts of restrictions on businesses regarding climate change. I just want to make it clear that what we're seeing right here has nothing to do, has zero to do with carbon dioxide output. CO2 has nothing to do with what is going on right here and right here with these transmitters. It has nothing to do with it. We've got millions of people that have been misled by the mainstream media, believing that carbon dioxide, which happens to be a building block of life, we couldn't survive without carbon dioxide and or carbon. And we've been told and lied to that CO2 is a component of global warming. That's causing climate change, and that's just a lot of BS. That's just total baloney, and we're seeing the evidence of this every day. These are transmitters. These are being controlled from space and also on the ground. We've seen the NexRad transmitters in the Intellicast Doppler map up here all the time. In fact, let's just zoom in right now here on Seattle. We can see some activity right now. Right here over Canada, we can see a transmitter right here, which is chopped up the rain pattern. This is a NexRad transmitter. We can see the origination point right there. So this is the kind of climate change that these bozos are not telling us about. And so carbon dioxide has nothing at all to do with the situation. And so Donald Trump knows this now. And so he's tore up these executive orders that have handcuffed the businesses and manufacturing of this country. And that's all going to change. So we're going to see a lot of changes in the economics of the country now that we can function like we used to. We don't have the criminals running the show anymore, and that's good. I don't like to talk political talk. I know that there's a lot of people that watch these videos that we don't agree politically, but I'm more of a libertarian. But I don't like what I saw the last 8 years. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, all right. So let's move on to the surface analysis map here, and we have this 975 millibar storm or gale. This is moving sort of in an easterly pattern out in the West Pacific. We have high pressure here, developing gale indicated over here, and as I say, this is a push the jet stream much further north. All right, let's take a look now at this situation over Texas. We have two lows right here. These are actually three lows. And this is that storm that they've allowed to spool up. All right, now here is some interesting stuff. We have the sea level pressure analysis right here. And we have 998 millibar right here. This is at sea level pressure. Let's go look at the 500 millibar. We have some squiggly lines right where those transmitters are working. That one transmitter right adjacent to this storm system. We have clockwise rotation right over here. And these squiggly lines on these isobars are proof positive that we have descending air at the 18,000 foot level right here, 500 millibar. Let's look at the 300 millibar. Same thing, 30,000 feet. We have squiggly lines right where that transmitter is working on the adjacent to the vortex of this system, which is intensifying and creating a lot of violent weather. That's done deliberately. There's going to be a lot of insurance claims. Look at the put options on the insurance companies and find out who's buying into all that as this storm moves through the area. Let's take a look next at the 300 millibar map for the East Pacific. We see this upper level low right here, right adjacent to high pressure right here. We have this low pressure storm right over here. And here's the 500 millibar for the East Pacific. I had these out of order. This is the 500 millibar. We see a high at 500 millibar right there. We go back to the 300. We got a low right there. So we have basically high and low pressure right next to each other at varying altitudes. But this is the key thing right over here. These isobars. All right, so that's the evidence of the transmitter manipulation. And I'm running out of video memory, so I have to wrap this up quick. But there it is. You can see all that manipulation. There are some oblique angles right in the center of this system that has been allowed to rebuild and really create some problems in the New Mexico and Texas area. Okay, so we've got wind right now. As I say, the humidity's dropped. And we'll go ahead and do another update tomorrow. That's it.